Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial, and I'm going to show you some really nice effect, and I'm going to show you straight away. So we are triggering this wire to burn, and when it's going to the destination it will trigger the next one, and it's actually a spline. So we're following a spline and we're using material with an alpha to mask it off, and we have a VFX setup, also getting the locations so we cannot forget where it should be. And also there is a light, point light, following along, and we have some flickering on it to make it go. So yeah, and there is some code, but yeah, we're gonna do it, and I find it pretty neat and nice. So yeah, we're gonna do it from scratch. So let's get started. And I have the empty scene here. So we are gonna do some stuff. And the first thing I want to add, just to make it just a little bit more interesting, I'm gonna make some environment to kind of place the spline on. So we have the box here. I'm just gonna do something with it, I don't know. And like this. And we have that one here, and the sphere going to be here somewhere. That's perfect. And actually, we're just going to make the cube. We're going to make the trigger box where we start the spline. And then we do the final here too. So we can call it finish box. So we place it so we see it here. This is going to be the finish box over here somewhere. Perfect. And then we have the trigger box, and here it is. So just to make clear where everything is, we're going to have the grid material on this one here, and here we have the box. Cool. And if you don't have the spline down here, as I do, you just find it in the packet manager and you need to download it over here. I can show you. So we have the spline. You need to download the spline here. And when you have, we can just do the spline, and we're going to draw it, and I'm just going to make sure it goes on top and stuff to make it a little bit more interesting. And then we do like this. Perfect. This is going to be good enough for us. So here, and then we just go out of the edit mode. So now we have the spline ready, and I'm just gonna move these ones a little bit closer so they look nice. So this is perfect. So we want the mesh on this spline, and okay, let's do the spline. So we're gonna have extrude, spline extrude. Now we have it here, and we're gonna do it a little bit 0.02. And now you see it kind of intersect here. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to add up the resolution on it. And then we're just going to move it up just a tiny bit, because we need to address the thickness, because the wire, now you can see it lies perfectly. We can work a little bit here on the edges, but this is going to be good enough for the tutorial. And then I'm just going to move this character a little bit away. So now what we want a game object. So this is going to be the controller. Controller, here we are. And this controller, we're going to have it following the spline. So we're going to address that first, because we're going to have the VFX setup following, and we're also going to have a light. So we can actually just, for now, we have a light, we do a point light, and why aren't we seeing anything else from it? That's strange. And it seems like it's down here, so I'm just gonna move it to position the controller. The controller is also on the wrong position. So here we have the controller, and I'm gonna have the point light where the controller is. So we can just have a little bit feedback where we have the light. And I'm gonna do it blue for now so you can kind of see it. So to have the controller follow the spline, we need to animate spline animate. So here you see spline animate, and we need a spline to it. So we just take the spline and plug it in here. And now if we play, you see it follow along. And here we can adjust the time. So we're gonna have, I'm gonna do 20 or maybe 13. So this is a good tempo, or maybe even 10. I'm gonna go with 12, so that's good enough. And we're gonna have looping mode once. So this is how you animate along a wire. And to have this working, we need to control everything in a script. So I'm going to make sure we have a controller script on this one. And I'm going to make it here a wire controller. And then we just let it compile a little bit, and then I'm gonna add this one to the controller. So let's see, we're gonna open this one, and I'm gonna show you what we need to do. And I added some code here, so I don't write it, so it's going a little bit quicker. And I added a spline here because we're going to use it, and I added the VFX, and we're going to use it later, so it's great for now because we're not using anything from it. And then I added execute in edit mode, and that's because I want to be able to use this in the editor without pressing play. So here we have the spline container, and the spline container is this one. And we also have the spline animate, and the spline animate is, so here's the controller, and the spline animate is actually next to the controller. So what we could do, if we just make a void start, so we can do the spline animate. It's just fetching the component, get component next to it. So we have that set up straight away. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna, and I also have this update wire. So this is a bool. So whenever you press this one, it just update this one, or update this only once. So here we get the length of the spline, and then we just put the wire len to the value. So because we need a length on the spline, and if we just add the spline to the script here and press once, now you can see we have the length of this spline is 8.6-ish. Because you can do it with spline container, calculate length. So and why I have this if statement here, I only do it once when the bool is pressed, and then it gets false again. So we don't do it constantly. And why we need the length is because we're going to have a material where we're gonna use the UV mapping to kind of use the alpha. So whenever it's kind of halfway, we mask away the half part. So this is the minimum setup. So if we just do, play, we have the controller following along, and we're gonna have a VFX setup on the controller as well, and we're gonna control the lights so it kind of turns off in the end and in the beginning and stuff. So so this is the setup, and I'm gonna in the next one we're just gonna set up the material, and that's super quick and easy, and then we're just gonna continue doing this really cool stuff. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next tutorial.